Blog Talk Radio.
There's a direct relationship between having the businesses and being in prison. Go find see how many Asians you can find in American prisons. You ain't gonna be in there. But 51% of your prisoners will be black because blacks don't have any businesses and industries. There's a direct link. Blacks won't practice group economics. Black won't practice group politics. If you don't practice, you're setting yourself up. I told that 5-story building, you're setting yourself to get wiped out. Understand the nature of race, which is economics. If you build the first floor, it's economic. Build your businesses and your industries. Control business and industry, and put that pulls in your money, and hold that money, and practice group economics with it. Arab and Asian money bounces 12 to 13 times what it leaves. Jewish money bounces 18 times. Black folk got to learn how to practice group economics. Black Americans spend every penny they get outside their own community. Then you take the money and the wealth that you get from that first floor and go to the second floor. The second floor is politics. You then take that money on the first floor and you control your politics. Black folk must quit allowing people to tell them to go out and vote. Vote for what? Nobody's going to do anything for black folk in politics. Politics is controlled by money. Major corporations who got the money. That's what controls politics. If you have no money, you have no say-so, you have no benefits coming. So you take your money and you control, and you take your money on the first floor, you buy every politician on the second floor. And then the politician you can't buy, you rent or lease them to get what you need. Then once you get the second floor under control with the politician with your money, then you go to the third floor. The third floor is the police department and the court system. You take your money from the first floor and your politics on the second floor, and you control the court system and the police departments. Then the fourth floor then is media. You then take the money that you generate off the first floor from business and industries, and you go after radio stations, TV stations, newspapers, and cable systems, so that you can now inform and communicate with your own people. Right now, black folk own and control less than 35 thousandths of 1% of the media in the United States. Out of 12,000 radio stations, black folk own about 75, 80. That's all. You own no cable systems. You don't have a daily newspaper. You have nothing of importance. You got about one black TV station. And so you can't communicate with your people. You can't inform your people. You can't do anything. You can have Rush Limbaugh and all the rest of the guys talking about racism all day long and bad-mouthing you, and O'Reilly. They can call black folk all kind of names all day long. What are you going to do? You can't respond. You can't communicate with your own people because you don't have an economic base. 51% of all the prisoners in the United States are black people. You only make up 12% of the population. That's no accident. It's because you don't control the economics and the politics. And they're going to go after the weakest people they can get their hands on to incarcerate them. That's the black folk. And what are you going to do in response to them when they over-incarcerate you? You're going to go out and have a march, a demonstration. We're going to march. March for what? Who cares? Marches, they never changed anything.
A leader of Thailand's rescue mission to save 12 boys and their soccer coach from a cave now says we have a limited amount of time. He spoke after a former Thai Navy SEAL, 38-year-old Saman Kunan, died inside the cave complex from a lack of oxygen. Officials say he was working as a volunteer diver and was delivering oxygen canisters to the scene when he collapsed.
The soccer team has now been trapped for 15 days. More heavy rain is on the way, and that could bring new flooding inside the cave. Ben Tracy is at the scene in Chiang Rai, where there's new urgency in the rescue effort. Ben, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. So the death of this diver certainly has raised questions about whether or not these young, untrained boys could survive that same kind of dangerous journey out of this cave. However, the head of the Thai Navy SEALs says that they're going to continue their mission until all 12 and their coach get out. And as you mentioned, those heavy rains that are headed this way certainly added urgency because time is running out.
Crews are working frantically to pump out water from inside the cave system where 12 boys and their 25-year-old soccer coach are trapped. With monsoon rains in the forecast this weekend, floodwaters are expected to once again rise. But that's not the only concern. Authorities say oxygen levels inside the cave are dropping, and they are rushing to install a 3-mile-long oxygen tube. We originally thought the boys could stay safe inside the cave for quite some time, this Thai SEAL commander said. But circumstances have changed. We have a limited amount of time. From the cave entrance to an area known as Chamber 3, the water is now down to around knee-high level. But the space between Chamber 3 and the boys is still completely flooded. The only way through it includes a nearly 100-foot underwater dive. That is close to where the former Navy SEAL diver died on Thursday. Thai authorities say he was on his way back from delivering air tanks to the group when he passed out underwater. He was pulled out unconscious and unable to be revived. Authorities are trying to get the floodwaters to a level where the boys would not have to dive and could swim out with life jackets on and their heads above water.
So just over here is the entrance to the cave, and all day long they are bringing things in and out. Right now it appears they're actually trying to move in these large submersible water pumps in order to pump more water out of the flooded cavern.
But even if they are successful in pumping enough water out, there is worry the group does not have the endurance to make the nearly 5-hour-long trip out of the cave. Some are showing signs of weakness and malnutrition, and most do not know how to swim. I'm worried. He has never dived, said the father of one of the boys, but he can swim a little.
They are quickly running out of options here, so crews are still looking for other entrances to the cave, including from above, and they've talked about even potentially drilling a hole through the mountain to try to reach the trapped boys. Alex?
Ben Tracy in Thailand. Thanks, Ben. That story, every day, every chapter of it is gut-wrenching. It is so difficult to watch.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think we can overstate how much everybody in the world is watching and rooting for these children.
Yeah. And
Difficult for us. Imagine what parents are going through.
Unfathomable.
And if you had any doubts about how dangerous this is, the loss of that diver tells you.
Yeah.
Thoughts and prayers.
All right, this morning on It's My House, our topic is 99 homes, 99 reparations. We're going to conclude our reparations topic for this week. Live stream number 619-768-2945. However, before we get into 99 homes and 99 reparations, we're covering a little trending topic news, and that's it's been happening all week. The rescue of these campers in Thailand and their coach. Boy, it's a miracle that they're even alive at this point. But in any event, we'll play another clip and then we'll get into our topic for today.
It is a race against the clock and the weather, and in Thailand, where rescue crews are still trying to figure out how best to save those young soccer players trapped inside that cave. Yesterday, we showed you a new video of the boys getting medical help there. They appeared in good spirits, but CNN has learned a recent medical assessment shared by a member of the Navy SEAL team indicates that the coach and at least 2 of the boys are too exhausted and malnourished to move. Officials are still pushing hard with plans to free this group. In addition to pumping oxygen into the cave, crews are feverishly pumping out flood water. But the thing is, weather is not exactly on their side. More rain may come this weekend. The governor saying that they are, quote, working against the water. Meantime, remember the 33 Chilean miners rescued from that mine after being trapped for 69 days? One of the miners actually offered his words of encouragement.
I want to greet and send a lot of strength from afar to all the authorities and the families of these 12 children underground. I have no doubt that if we pray, I have no doubt that if the government of that country does everything and carries out what is humanly possible, this rescue will be a success. May God bless you, and we will be praying now for each one of you, for each of your families, and for each of the children that is facing this challenge.
I have with me Emily Davis, a cave explorer who was rescued from a cave after being trapped 91 hours. Emily, welcome.
Welcome. Thank you.
Thank you for joining me. Take me back. I mean, there you were trapped, leg broken, trapped with a team of 5. It took these 91 hours to get you guys out. How excruciating was that wait and the unknown?
Well, we actually weren't waiting. It was a 4.5-day rescue, but we were moving pretty much from about 20 hours in. It just took a long time because of vertical drops and various technical issues. So we were really not trapped at all. It took a long time to get out.
So how could you relate to these boys?
Well, the main thing is that they are not experienced. I was part of the cave rescue team, had been a caver already at that time for 20 years. They're having to face something that's new and very frightening for them. I'm sure that the people who are with them that have gone in are helping support that. They went without food for 9 days. I got fed consistently. So it's a whole different situation.
I get the sense you are a tough lady, but did you ever have a moment where you were truly worried? Did you want to give up hope?
Well, I was worried that the Park Service would shut down the expedition mapping the cave system we were in. I was never worried that I'd be left behind because I was part of a team, and that team was not going to leave me behind.
And
they know I'd go get them if I did.
What was that team telling you? Because we know there have been these, the Thai Navy SEALs who've been able to get through to these boys. I mean, I just keep thinking, what is it that you would want to hear? If you're trapped in their case, this dark cave, they don't know when they're getting out, unlike your situation. What was the best thing that was communicated to you that would help these boys?
I think that if somebody can help them keep a sense of humor and keep looking forward, those are the things they have to do to get their strength back as they bring them food, to get rest, and help with their own rescue in the future. It's a very, very difficult situation with no easy answer.
You mentioned food. Here's my last question, Emily. You probably know where I'm going, but just, I like to be optimistic, right? So let's say when these boys get out, I have to imagine they're already fantasizing over what their first meal would be, and I heard you had quite the hankering for pizza.
Well, we had a running joke that it would be the perfect catered rescue if we had pizza and margaritas. And one of my friends called all the pizza places in Carlsbad, New Mexico, and there were 30-something pizzas waiting for the team when we came out of the cave. I'm guessing those boys will want some sort of interesting Thai dish, but I don't think that they're going to be able to have anything too spicy right away.
Emily Davis, thank you so much. I like to say when they get out. Thank you so much for sharing.
You know what? I was talking without the mic, but with my mic open. So let me repeat what I said when nobody can hear me. Today's podcast is based on the movie 99 Homes. Only before I even said that, we're going to try to do trending topics on a daily basis. Of course, those last two clips were more about the rescue mission over in Thailand. So hopefully they can get all of them out. That's been happening all week. I didn't even know about it till last night. And as much as I'm on Facebook, I'm surprised I didn't see something in my news feed about it. But in any event, I put it out on my news feed, so for those who were like me that were not in a cave, but mentally living in a cave. Anyway, today's podcast is titled 99 Homes, 99 Reparations. It's based on the film 99 Homes, which I highly recommend. And we're going to play some clips from that and then tie it into 99 Reparations.
I was catching 2-pound bass.
Excuse me.
When I was 6 years old.
Hold up. Hey, you stole some tools from me yesterday during my eviction.
Whoa,
Senior sales
what the
manager.
fuck are you talking about, man?
What's the problem? You stole $500.
You're just making up bullshit.
Where's my fucking tools?
I didn't steal your fucking tools.
We have a form you can fill out. If you have an issue, just give me my tools. If you have an issue, we got a form you can fill out.
You need to just go back to your house and look for your tools again.
Yeah.
But wait, you don't have a fucking house, right?
What the fuck? God damn it.
Give me my fucking tools back.
That's not necessary.
Kick your ass now.
Chill the fuck out. God damn it. Chill the fuck out. Hey.
Call that fucking thief. Give me my fucking tools.
Knock that shit off right now.
You chill the fuck off of me.
Bill, you want to get in there? Throw a couple of licks. You're just officiating this event today.
Sir, I was trying to intervene.
Sir, what the fuck you still doing here anyway? Huh?
I thought, sir. I thought you said.
Lord Almighty, you have evolved. Has Darwin himself come to Orlando, Florida? Well, Bill?
We'll be there on time, Mr. Carver.
Get to it.
All right, yes. All right, come on, Bominos, Freddy, let's go.
Yeah.
Guys, Buena Vista Lakes, here we go.
And you, sir, are you finished? Because I got the cops on speed dial. They can chase you out of town over busted taillights.
I didn't come here to fight.
Well, that's good.
I came here to get my tools that your guys
Do I
stole.
look like Ace Hardware? I don't deal in tools. I deal in
Your
homes.
guy stole the tools yesterday. I understand what you do, sir.
Yeah, you do?
I understand what you do. You evicted me yesterday. You kicked me out yesterday.
I didn't kick you out. The bank did. I just represent it. Richard Carver. What? You've got to be kidding me. When? Yeah, fuck hazmat. I'll call him myself. 914 Shader Drive, now.
What about via...
Move it!
Yes, sir. Let's go.
Mr. Carver, sorry to interrupt your day.
You Miguel?
What?
Do you work? You got tools? You do construction?
Yeah, I do work.
914 Shader Drive. I'll pay $50 cash.
What? Are you kidding me?
$50 shouldn't be a joke to you, son.
Are you gonna look into my mother? Fucking shit! Cocksucker.
All right, that was from, and we're on radio, so you can't, internet, so you can't. I'll try to paint a visual for you. That scene was in the parking lot. This gentleman, the guy in the movie, he had been evicted the day before. He was in a home in Orlando, Florida, Metro Orlando, Florida. And 99 Homes is basically based, it's a composite of several people who have been evicted from their homes in Orlando, the Orlando, Florida metro area. But it can take place in any place in the United States. In any event, or the world, really. So the day before, he had been evicted by this guy, Rick Carver, who he represents the bank. He's a real estate agent that works for the bank. It takes place in the parking lot. The guy had his mother and his son were evicted from the house, in front of the neighbors and all that. They were given maybe 15 minutes to pack whatever they needed and get out of the house. So after they got evicted, they went to one of these residential motels where you pay by, I guess you can pay by the week, by the day of the week, But in that hotel, one of the guys that he got into a fight with, all of them had been evicted by this real estate agent, by the banks. And the real estate agent representing the banks was this guy, Rick Carver. But it was a whole motel full of people who had gotten evicted. Now, that's a community, number one. Number two, these were working people. Most of these people had jobs. This guy, he had one, and then the guy that he got in the fight had one, and so forth. I'm going to play the eviction scene, which happened the day, which, like I said, he had gotten evicted the day before. I'm going to take you to the eviction scene and then come back to our topic.
Told you it was right, Follow against Blair Street to cover Via Alizar.
Good.
Flip that this quarter.
And Landon at Code Enforcement?
Yeah, I got a short sale for that cocksucker. I'll email you the details.
Okay.
All right.
Afternoon, boss. Love the new ride.
Range Rover HSE.
Is this the Nash eviction?
Yeah. Anyone home?
I'm not sure, but his vehicle is home, so I'm assuming yes.
All right, let's get to it.
All right.
Morning, y'all.
How's it going? He's at the window.
Sheriff's Department, come to the door.
What?
Sheriffs are here.
Why are they here?
Sheriff's Department, you need to come to the door.
Hi, Daisy. There's a window. Just censor. We just gotta explain it. Okay.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
I'm Deputy Anderson with the Sheriff's Department, and we're here to serve you with a court-ordered eviction.
Okay, well...
So, sir, ma'am, and, do you have any weapons on your body or anywhere in the house that we need to know about?
No. Not us.
Mr. Carver?
Good morning, sir. Ma'am, my name's Rick Carver. I'm a licensed real estate broker.
Mr. Carver?
Rick? Hi.
And, I'm very sorry to tell you that this home has been foreclosed on and officially transferred to the bank. I'm going to need you to please vacate the premises.
No, I understand what you're saying, Mr. Carver, and we've been getting our eviction notices. I was in court yesterday.
Yeah.
And the judge informed me that I got 30 days to file for an appeal, and that's what I intend to do.
Well, if you posted bond and you have an emergency stay signed by the judge, you're welcome to.
Well, I got a question. You guys didn't get any rescheduling of the
what
the
I've
eviction
received
date?
is a court order signed by a judge. It says you are to vacate these premises today.
We were scared
this
of that.
home is owned by the bank.
This is the information that we have, you understand?
And we're sorry to waste your time, but they obviously
My
didn't
office
reach you.
offered you $3,500 cash for key settlement from the bank, which would have given you plenty of time to vacate the premises, and you refused.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Well, we didn't refuse. We tried to save our home.
We were trying to save
sorry.
our home.
I know this is a very painful time. I know. And it's
Well,
a difficult thing to carry through on for me as well. But the time has come. You have to leave the property. You are trespassing. Right now, you are breaking the law.
Sir, this is our home.
All right.
So we just
well,
need
we're going
a
in
few minutes.
circles here, so I'm going to let the sheriffs take care of it, okay? Randy?
All right. Sir.
We've got a judge, sir,
Ma'am.
and a lawyer who told us we can stay.
Sir, is this your mom?
Yeah, this is my
All right. I'm going to need you and your mom to step off the property now.
Just, you know what? If you all can come back,
What we're gonna do?
come back tomorrow same time. And if we don't have the papers, we don't have the proof,
we're in process
then we
with a
will
lawyer.
leave.
We have a lawyer.
Then we will
got it
leave.
all
Okay.
figured out.
Folks,
Just give us a day.
Listen to me.
Give us a
We
day.
can dance together, but we can't talk together.
Okay.
We need
all right.
do not close
sir,
the door.
We
Do
need
not
a
close
day.
the door.
We need a
All
day.
right.
We need
Listen,
a day.
this is what I'm going to do. No,
Excuse me.
do not close the
We
door.
need a day. We need a day.
What I will
this is
do
my home.
is
I can
will
do whatever
give
I
you
want.
2 minutes to pack whatever belongings you need, cash, checkbook, medicine, anything that you need. Yeah, this is happening.
No,
all right,
this
look.
is not happening.
I'm getting
Judge
my
said I
cell
got
phone
30
so I can
days.
get the lawyer out.
So this
All right,
can't be
ma'am,
happening
go keep
today.
on.
Ma'am,
Excuse me. Wait, what?
Just walking by, sir.
I don't know if this is...
We can't let you walk outside once we start.
Please don't
Sir,
come into my house.
listen to me, sir. There are 2 ways that we can do this. All right, an easy way, which you do what you're told and ask. All right, the other way is that I take you and your mom to jail. Okay, do you want your mom to go to jail? What I'd like you to do, take advantage of the 2 minutes, gather what you need, as far like cash, checkbooks, medicines, things that you need.
Excuse me, sir. Would you mind stepping outside of the property, sir?
Listen to me, sir. All right, let me put it to you this way.
Excuse me?
Right.
This isn't your home, son.
Mr. Carver?
Excuse me?
Mr. Carver?
According to Florida statute 801.08, I have the authority to
Sir,
take
we
you...
have the right to an attorney,
right?
right? Then why are you hurting us? And somebody forgot to call you, we don't get a lawyer?
It's better not to get emotional right now.
You're kicking us out of our house.
Please, okay, please.
Man, please don't ask the lady.
All right, look, enough of this. Let's go. Get what you need to get. Let's go. No more of this.
Sir, I don't need your help, okay? I can take a minute. You need to follow a woman into her bedroom? Is that what's happening?
It's department policy. I can't listen.
We got a full house here. We have to be late to the next one. I know.
It's just department policy.
Nice.
Money, checkbook, things like wallets, pictures.
I'm trying to get pictures.
Does he have to stand there with her?
Yes, sir.
You have to fucking stand there while she packs up her fucking underwear? Is that right?
Dennis, please. Excuse me, sir. Excuse me.
You gotta keep you on my side, ma'am. Sorry about that. Anyway, ma'am, this is the most important thing.
What else, Mom? Can I ask to say 2 minutes on your clipboard?
Sir, the 2 minutes is a courtesy. Let her take the plan.
You don't need your plan.
2 minutes is what?
A courtesy.
Oh my God.
You're trespassing right now.
Oh my God.
I know it's
go.
painful to hear, but it's the truth.
Just. This is our home. Oh my God.
Anything else, ma'am?
Oh, my toaster. My toaster oven. Make toast for my grandson.
Uh-huh. Ma'am? All right. Randy, you said the 2 minutes was up.
I'm getting the
right?
bills. I'm just getting the bills.
Let's go,
Right.
folks. Let's go.
Dennis. It's basketball. It's basketball.
Will you just let her go in and get the ball?
All right, Jeff, get to it. Rhonda, get the locks.
Wait, what about the rest of our things?
They're going to bring everything out to the front of the property, ma'am. There's no need to worry about that. You mind helping me move all this to the other side of the sidewalk, please?
We're moving it. Okay, just give us a second.
Now, my advice would be to get a moving truck, because your neighbors are going to have access to everything you own by the end of the day.
I got it.
Can you believe this? They canceled it, and then they didn't even tell these guys. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Oh my God, I can't believe it's happening.
Hey!
Anything that you can't say.
What are you doing?
Moving stuff.
Well, don't go in there. You got no business going in there.
All right.
Shut the lid.
Pants on.
I'll take him next door.
Okay.
Okay?
Hey, buddy.
Hey, bub.
What are they doing?
Nothing.
This is our house.
Hey.
This is our house. Okay,
Connor.
Hey, John, where you headed?
Get away from him.
I got it.
Away from him.
It's a very difficult situation. Please, baby, take your son off the property.
What do you think I'm doing?
Those are my boys. It's okay.
Baby,
It's okay.
hey.
Come here. Connor. I just want to go to my room, please.
Can't go to your room right now.
You said we weren't going to the house. You lied to me. You lied. Sweetie, he didn't lie. He didn't know.
Do you think you're going to come to school tomorrow? I don't know.
Con.
Gotta go. Well, what about our NBA 2K series? See you later.
Thank you for everything.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Nick.
Take care. We'll see you soon.
Mr. Nash, you have 24 hours before my crew returns to dispose of whatever remains. Not my choice, code enforcement. Good luck.
I keep on forgetting to turn on my mic. That was the eviction scene from the movie 99 Homes. And before that, actually, I should have played that clip first and the other clip second. And the first clip I played before that was the parking lot scene at the residential hotel where all these people had been evicted. They moved to one of these residential motels. Now, here's where the reparations is in plain sight with that. Matter of fact, in any city that's got a rent court, landlord-tenant court, or anything like that, those are, you can't solicit at the courthouse. But, you know, a lot of these people look for help. You can set up some type of business to get these people's attention, set up something on Facebook where you can get these people's attention, where they're getting evicted, foreclosed on, whatever. And that's where the reparations in plain sight opportunity lies. Because depending on how you help these people, matter of fact, the guy in this movie, he eventually earned enough money by tapping in on certain aspects of the foreclosure process where he earned enough money to buy the home that he got foreclosed on and evicted out of. He earned enough money to buy his house back. All right. So we're going to have movie nights based on 99 Homes. Matter of fact, some other movies as well. 99 Homes, Pacific Heights. There's several other movies, and we're going to. Matter of fact, I don't know how a webinar would work on this, but because there's a lot of things that you can pick out with that. But we'll go into deeper detail at a later date. But people are looking for reparations opportunities in plain sight, which takes another type of thinking in the first place. Helping people get back into a home, or maybe earning enough money to keep their home, that's a huge opportunity that a lot of people really don't tap into. In any event, let's go to the phone lines here. 314, your mic is open.
Yeah, I was listening to that. I said, man, this is really a strange thing that's going on here. But you said it was a movie. I'm happy to know.
Yeah. You can rent or buy it on Amazon or YouTube, because YouTube's got films now also.
Yeah. Well, I have already added as much as I think I could on this issue about reparations.
This is the last day of it.
Yeah, if reparations could be had in many different fashions other than this proverbial reception of cash like so many people.
Right, that's why I've done like 4 days on this. This is the last day on it. I wanted to present it from a different angle. Because like you say, most people, when you heard, because there's been a gazillion talks on reparations and probably be a gazillion more. They talk about it from, getting a check aspect. So I just wanted to present it from, well, look at it this way, and then, look at it that way. And so this is something you can do on your own. Although I suspect the majority of people who get involved in, you know this just as well as I do, conversations on, particularly on talk shows and all that, on reparations, they're looking for a check from the government. Some, not all, but quite a few.
I had put together like 194 points. I'm trying to get up to 200. I started off with 50 on how the face of reparation could look different, and I'm going to turn this over to one of these groups one of the days. But just think like this: no FTA or free trade agreement shall be made that would negatively affect any farm operations being carried out by members of the group, which would be slave descendants. And if so, the group shall be exempted. And, free trade agreements is basically what you're looking at now with these terrorists. There's certain things there's free trade, then there's certain things that's known as fair trade. And actually, it's fair trade what you should be trying to achieve rather than free trade. But if they come up with a free trade agreement, and if you're involved in a business or an adventure that free trade is going to circumvent. Like, suppose you're making something in the country and you're paying minimum wage, and people are, earning a wage and check and so forth, and all of a sudden they have a trade agreement with, say, a Taiwan or maybe some other developing country where things ain't up to like they eventually will get. Well, you can't compete with that.
Right.
And that's why the whole thing about tariffs comes into existence in order to protect local market. So, and another thing, new black industries should be given infant industry status, and especially they should be given that status based on that they're providing a U.S. national security. And that's easy to attain if you're dealing in manufacturing something along the lines of metals, like aluminum, for instance. One of the reasons why Trump administration said that the country should not be dependent on foreign countries in the purchase and acquisition of aluminum products, especially stock aluminum, is because aluminum is one of the material components that's used in the manufacture of U.S. military jets. So therefore, it's best to produce that in the house rather than, across the street. That's one of the reasons why it comes to General Motors. That's one reason why it comes corporations like General Motors can't be allowed to go out of existence, because they can easily be tooled over to start producing things like tanks and other military vehicles that's needed in case of war.
True. Well, you brought up an interesting subject, which, matter of fact, I might hit on that Monday or Tuesday next week, or by Wednesday next week. Infant industries, because a lot of people that are job oriented, because I have a hobby of just monitoring various hobbyists, because sometimes those hobbyists develop something that turns into an industry.
Mm-hmm. Well, they do.
A lot of your major players today, like Amazon, Yahoo, Google, just a few short years ago, they didn't even exist.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, people that's doing things in their kitchen,
right?
They have to develop a assembly line process in order to see it through. And if you're making 5 bottles an hour, well, how do you get up to 500,000 bottles an hour? Well, now you have to industrialize that process and take the kinks and the obstructions out of it in order to get up to that efficiency. You can't do it no longer in your house. You got to move to a whole off-site operation, another site operation.
You brought that up, because you're right. You're right on target with that. I'm thinking when you mentioned that, I was thinking of Dudley Products, how he and his wife, Joe Dudley Sr., and his wife, when they first started out, they were making up product in their kitchen. They were, collecting used bottles from, different hairdressers or whoever. They would collect those bottles, and then they would, clean them and sanitize them, and they would make up trial and error with the, whatever hair care product they were making, and they would bottle it, and then they would, next day he would go out door to door knocking, So you're right, that thing, and then I'm thinking about another guy. I won't name the product, but he started off, well, I can name it. This guy was making sheds, and he made one. And now the guy, he makes probably $50,000 to $60,000 a year. So, but like you said, they particularly Dudley, he started off, he and his wife right in that kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
The other guy in his backyard making the shit from somebody else, and he, like you said, he just, okay, how can I go from producing one a day to several a day? So, And what I like about the internet, particularly YouTube, you can tap into this information and people who are doing this right now. That's one of the things I like about YouTube. So.
That's another thing I had, paywalls. Paywalls should be exempt to black institutions and its students access to information that would further the development for the people of the stated class would not be subjected to fees. You know, I'm getting ready to teach my grandson how to fly. And one of the things I got a bill that they didn't have when I learned is flight simulators.
Okay.
So you can build flight simulators where you probably seen where it looks like you're sitting in a cockpit of a plane, whether it's a small aviation plane or whether it's big as a 747. But companies like Boeing, General Dynamics have these components that's, it's just basically scrap. They're out in the western part of the country. There's these graveyards and nothing but planes that the United States Air Force, that's where they stock all their dead planes. Where components are that can be used in schools, like charter schools, like Betsy DeVos Aviation School. Well, I just brought it up to a principal who has a turnaround school in St. Louis that this is something that the young people, young black children should be able to experience early on. And that would probably capture their attention more, and also you will be preparing them for the well-known shortages in these industries. When we were flying, we used to go to an event called Oshkosh, and that's where you have over 500,000 people come in, fly in order to take part in the expo demonstration and so on and so on and so on. You never would see you just see a few black pilots, but other than that, foot traffic, you will hardly ever see any black people at all. And the things that they have available in order to inspire the knowledge out of young people from elementary, middle school to high school, it's just tremendous. And you got all these white kids that's learning everything from riveting. They're learning measurements. They're learning how to read sectional charts and so on and so on and so on. Learn how, of course, geometry kind of plays a major part. They're learning the time zones and so on. Those activities can be utilized in schools in order to prepare young people, not only for aviation, but aerospace, and also the industry of manufacturing of these types of devices themselves. So we absolutely too busy talking about what Trump ain't doing or what he is doing and all this crazy mess, police brutality and all that little crazy mess. And just like you said, if blacks was to get to the point where they could increase their net worth, not only in dollars but also in community and the agencies that operate out of these communities, then a lot of these problems that you march and cry and sing and chant over will soon disappear.
Well, I'm a big advocate of the teachings of Booker T. Washington, because you know, like when you just said it, if we would get our net worth up, get the basics out the way, and just keep on teaching that stuff generationally and how to protect it and how to move, multiply it generationally. Yeah, a lot of so-called problems would eventually disappear. There's always going to be something, but what marched over the last 55 years or whatever that was, But yeah, that's an excellent idea of flight simulators, because when you said that, I was thinking about when I was taking driver's ed in high school. I
remember them.
They had a simulator for that. And now, with kids, they have a lot of them are gamers. So they're at home doing this, but if they had, a little bit more advanced machinery at a school, just like for the car, loads of kids would get interested in that. And on top of that, you already have kids, particularly, because I taught in the D.C. public school system for a bit. A lot of them want to go into ROTC. They want to go into the service, military service. So if they had this option in there, they can, they can say, you know what, maybe I want to go into the Air Force, or maybe I don't, or what aspect, like you said, mechanics. It's a whole lot of careers. So just by having that in there, that's an excellent idea.
Now, when I was coming up,
public school is politics.
When I was coming up, I was electronics junkie. I had, of course, my ham radio license. It was the extra class, KT0J. I had a radio third class, second class, first class commercial license, which I never used. I just done it. And then I also got all my ham radio equipment I built, the receivers and the transmitters, the amplifiers especially, with, big old twos. It was Z500s at that time. I built robots. I still got my daughter. As a matter of fact, I had to take it over to her house. She said she wanted a robot, but the robot used to wake up in the morning. It had ultrasound detectors where it could run. It stood about 3 foot tall, where it could travel around the floor without avoid things. And when its batteries was low, it would find a station that was built to the wall, and it would back itself up into it and plug and charge itself. And when it reached a certain charge level, it would pop off of there and start ready to go again. It taught her how to count. It taught her, stuff like that. I had a computer-operated van where I could walk up to the doors and say, "Open sesame," and the doors would open. I used to freak kids out with that.
Okay.
But no, you know what made that possible? Because we had in our community a electronic surplus store. And you can go in that store and you had access to buying LEDs, LEDs. You had access to buying transistors of various types, capacitors, resistors. They had old, when a manufacturer went out of existence, they had their stock parts that those surplus stores would get a hold of them. And you could get kit designs. And if I wanted to do something, like these trip computers that tell you how many miles you got on a tank of gas and your ETA, and I built one of those. And I had a 16 segment differential LED display that I got from Litronix. Because if you a hobbyist, and if you was called Texas Instrument at that time, Litronix, which was a major manufacturer of electrical components that's used in computers, so I can get on the phone, call them, and say, "Look, I got this. I'm doing this. Could you send me one of these?" They will send you the latest and the best that they have for free, because they know if what it is that you're working on, if it's successful, guess where you're gonna have to get the components from? You got to get it from them.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. I know some hobbyists that, matter of fact, I had to bring them on. I talked to a couple last year. They build their own cars, electric vehicles, EVs as they call. And they go to the junkyard and get a frame and for like maybe $100 or so, $200, something like that. And they rebuild it, and some of them have built cars where they drive it to work. They charge it with some charge it with solar power, or actually most of them you can charge the car with solar power, or you can plug it into your home system. So they might spend in fuel costs, which is electricity, maybe $7 or $8 a month. But those are hobbyists, I think.
You remember those
now dealerships?
You remember those Motorola pagers?
Yep.
The big boxes you were on the side, the two-tone that's come on, and have high and low tone. Dun, dun. Well, I built a burglar alarm, a car alarm, utilizing that. And I had a 5-watt transmitter. Well, I had it for my van. I had my show van. I had a 5-watt transmitter, and I had sensors in the van. I had shaker sensor. If somebody came and tried to jack the car up, take the tires off, that would trigger a sensor that would send a tone out to my pager, letting me know, exactly what area of the vehicle that somebody was messing with. I had the vibration sensors, and I had also another sensor in there. So, we built that based off of the components that you find in your surplus stores. But they don't have surplus.
That just reminds me of, I saw something on Netflix or some TV show maybe a year ago, within the last 5 years, where a person, their car, they built some type of security system for their car, where if a person broke in and tried to steal it, the car would, the windows would go up, the doors would lock, and you would be, the person stealing the car would
be locked in there.
Trapped. Right, they would be locked in there. Something like that I like to
all that stuff all those things can be done. And now what country they do have a lot of surplus available for its general population? China. In China, you have some of those small towns. On the streets, they have a street that contains nothing but maybe 2 or 3 different items. The whole damn store. Go to another store. You want LED displays, you want whatever, capacitors, resistors, diodes, a whole store. And, those kids over there have opportunity to get involved in that nature of activity, and that's why you see that they lead in so many innovations, because the innovation comes out of the mind, what the person perceives. When we read Dick Tracy books back when we was a kid, and he was talking on his watch, well, that there is an imagination that sooner or later can become an innovation once a mind can put it together. And with the advent of space exploration, space exploration made it possible to have the miniaturization of components. You don't need big 500Z tubes, vacuum tubes anymore. You can all do that now with composite materials. And now you have what you have.
That's true. Yeah, I want to do intellectual property. Yeah, because you're right. It's I call that the great equalizer, because all of us, regardless of race, color, socioeconomic background, or what have you, we have ideas. Which is intellectual property. It's just a matter of, like I say, using
the computer wafer.
And making it.
The computer wafer, the wafer that's used in order to make your chips, your IC chips. That wafer, I had a friend. His name was Ronnie Shine, and he was trying to attempt to make those and using the chemical process in his garage. Fooling with them chemicals like boric acid and acetic acid and stuff, and he'd come in with burn spots all over. But he was doing it in his garage, and several other people around the world was probably doing it too at the time. That's the way knowledge usually works. But chemistry is another area where more of our children need to get involved with, because the things that you can develop out of chemistry. Heck, I refined gold on my kitchen table for a long time, and turned it to its purity of 23.99995% purity using chemicals in the battery charger. It's called Aqua Regina process. It's better than using acid, safer than using acid, and so on, so on, so on. So I would like to see more kids involved in geology, and also chemistry, but they run from it.
Well, we did a story. Matter of fact, I might have to make a trip to Africa for this one. 3 young ladies in Africa, I think Nigeria, as a school science project. You probably heard about this one. They took urine and made some machine that converted it into electricity.
Yeah.
So I love African.
We was on a trip one time. We took some kids on a trip and we was in a vehicle, and the distributor wire coming from the center distributor wire coming from the coil, something happened to it, and the engine wouldn't start. So I got some black tape, went over into a field, and picked out a stem off of a plant, and I wrapped that in black tape, and we pissed in a little hole where you can collect the urine, and we let it soak up into the stem, put it back in the coil, and put it back in the distributor, turned the key, the car started right up, drove home.
Man.
We traveled basically on a good piss.
It's there's a village. Actually, it's probably a few villages. I know some exist in Africa, but there's one in Germany that I know about. Feldheim, Germany. It's an off the grid, for electric and energy, but they use basically poop and stuff like that to generate electricity.
Oh yeah, you can biomass. You can do a lot with this stuff.
Biomass, yeah, correct. Well, Bianchi, thanks for calling in today. I'm gonna end it for today, and we're done with reparations for a long while. But we're going to tap into some of those topics you just brought up: intellectual property, innovations from different countries, hobbyists. And on that note, everybody, we're going to say have a good rest of the day and terrific weekend.